Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and I'm shooken up, man. I had no idea that Norm MacDonald was even sick. Norm MacDonald is a comedy legend, and I'm sad, man. I'm sad, but I think it's best we celebrate the man, his legacy, his performances, his stand-up. My God, guys, if you have not watched some Norm MacDonald, I hope you will go watch some Norm MacDonald this week. The man was hilarious. Some people called him the anti-comic, but he was always there telling a punchline, always figuring out a way to make you, the audience, uncomfortable or push that joke to somewhere new or lengthen it out to feel more awkward. And just brilliance came from this man, and he was looked up to by so many other legends of comedy. It always really sort of tells you who was the funniest out there. And you can see it today on Twitter. A lot of people reacting to this passing. It is a tremendous loss of people online sharing their favorite moments of Norm MacDonald. For those of you who just heard this news like I did, he had cancer. He was 61 years old. Man, he's suffered with this battle for 9 years privately. It was announced a deadline by his management firm, Brill Street Entertainment. Comedian's longtime producer, partner, and friend, Laurie Joe Hugstra, who kept with him when he died, said MacDonald had been battling cancer for nearly a decade and was determined to keep his health struggles private, away from family, friends, and fans. He was most proud of his comedy, she said. He never wanted the diagnosis to affect the way the audiences or any of his loved ones saw him. Man, it's making me sad. Norm was a pure comic. He once wrote that a joke should catch someone by surprise. It should never pander. He certainly never pandered. Norm will be missed terribly. Oh, so sad today to have this just lost out of nowhere. For those of you who are unfamiliar with him, most people remember him as a cast member on Saturday Night Live from 1993, 1998. I remember it specifically. I was too young for his humor back then. I just did it. I was like 13, so early teenage years, and the audience sometimes never really understood Norm when he was on that show. And I never understood the brilliance of what he was doing. I want to play some clips to remember him and his stylings. As I grew up and matured and realized what he was doing, I look back on some of those Saturday Night Live clips and I just realized what I missed. The man was just ahead of so many people in that show. He hosted Weekend Update for a long time. A lot of people just did not like his style, as they call it here, remembered for his droll style and his refusal to go easy on O.J. Simpson, despite reported pressure from NBC executives. MacDonald would prove one of the most impactful update anchors, pivoting away from the slapstick approach of Chevy Chase and toward the more barbed political approach of his successor, Colin Quinn. It's true, because Kevin Nealon had done it before, and Kevin Nealon was sort of that bridge in between the Chevy Chase to the Norm MacDonald. Kevin Nealon would make some political jokes, but Kevin Nealon, an amazing comic and good, I believe, really good friends with Norm, another legend in his own right, but never as politically sharp. Kevin likes to sort of please everybody, more of the nice guy. Norm MacDonald will just stab and twist and take that joke wherever it needs to go. And you could tell that was what was happening on Saturday Night Live, and it's true. Once he came on, Colin Quinn continued that sort of approach that MacDonald did, and then obviously to where we are, where Weekend Update has just become the political joke thing that it is, with Michael Che and everybody else, Tina Fey, Seth Meyers, everybody who passed him. Man, so sad to hear all this. So yeah, he was a contestant on Star Search. That's right, 1990, and then he was hired to write for Roseanne Barr's sitcom Roseanne in 1992 before landing that gig at Saturday Night Live. So it all started with a Star Search back in the day, which Britney Spears was on too, and that's how he found his fame through that, which is amazing. He did have a sitcom, that's right, The Norm Show, from 1999 to 2001. Again, his comedy wasn't for everybody. It didn't last as long. He did a one-season talk show for Netflix. Norm MacDonald has a show, and he had a show on YouTube, online, a podcast, etc., that he did for a while. But one of clearly late-night hosts, from Letterman to Conan's, their favorite guest. And I want to start there. I want to start there by playing, I have two clips I really want to play. I might play a third. This one will just show you how Norm MacDonald was always unafraid to take a joke wherever he needed to take it.
Charles Woodson, how about that? What a season he had. and he became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case...
Watch the reactions.
All bets are off. Just a word of advice.
It's that reaction, right? It's the joke, the unafraid. Norm MacDonald was unafraid as it gets. And it was always the way before Ricky Gervais, everybody else was doing it. That just uncomfortableness, but a joke no less. That's true. OJ had his taken away. It's just the brilliance of Norm MacDonald. He did not have any fear. So he's done so many good Conan appearances, but I always remember this when I was trying to find this one on YouTube. This interview with Courtney Thorne-Smith of Melrose Place. That's, no offense to her. I hope she remembers this and tweets about it, because what a way to save the interview in a way. But they're talking about this new Carrot Top movie that she's starring in called Employer of the Board or whatever. Here we go.
Wait a minute, she left Melrose Place to do a movie with Carrot Top?
That's where I'm going, my friend. This begs the question now, why a movie with Carrot Top?
Why a movie with Carrot Top?
I mean, no, I don't know much about Carrot Top.
Yeah, so they try to save this. Sorry, I have a couple of clips of this. He makes a bunch of jokes at Carrot Top's expense in front of her.
But what's the movie going to be called?
Well,
Really?
I know what it's going to be called.
Yeah, what's that?
If it's got Carrot Top in it, you know what a good name for it would be?
What's that, Norm?
Box Office Poison.
She's in it.
What about my career?
Courtney Thorne-Smith, the girl sitting to your left.
He doesn't care. He tries to make her good. Just find the whole clip and watch as Norm Sips interview. But then the always with the punchline, always so quick with the improv. He's been mocking it the whole show, and then finally he gets the real name of the movie.
Yes.
Title undetermined at this point.
Chairman of the board.
Chairman of the board.
Oh, all right. Do something with that, you freak.
Look at him, Stuart.
I bet the board is spelled B-O-R-E-D.
And Conan has broken. Look at him. He's gone. He's gone. He broke them all. No one could do that like Norm MacDonald. Oh, God, such a good one. Oh, God, I loved him. He was so funny, so quick-witted, and could break the best of them. Could break the people like Conan, like no one else. There's only a few people who really can always do that like that on the drop of a hat. And my God, Norm was one of them. So the one everyone, I mean, there's a bunch before I get there. If you ever watched Dirty Work with Ari Lang, it's really funny. It's so stupid, but I had a lot of fun with it. It's about sort of a guy who basically gets you fired from your job and like pranks your boss. It's a really funny role that was just born for him. It bombed at the box office, but there are some really funny gags in the movie if you can get through it. I highly encourage you to check it out. Dirty Work is definitely one. He did another one called Screwed, similar tone. I didn't like it as much, but I know a lot of Norm MacDonald fans do love it. But then Saturday Night Live, I mean, his Burt Reynolds was iconic, always on Celebrity Jeopardy. I'll never forget his Bob Dole. Bob Dole. It was just back in the political days. He really got Bob Dole pretty good, and then showed up with Bob Dole. If people remember who Bob Dole was, he also did a fantastic Letterman. I always remember watching his. He would always make fun of Letterman's like stupid mannerisms. There's the face like. Hey Paul, what do you think, Paul? Paul. He cracked this very, very small little nuances that Letterman would do, and Letterman always would have him on and loved him for it. But when he had an impression rather, he always slayed it, and that was one that I'll always remember as being the funniest. But everyone remembers him most from Weekend Update. That's where he really shined. Again, ahead of his time for a lot of people. But I want to play the clip in question that most people are sharing right now, and this just is it's a long clip. It's the moth clip. Do we have time? F it. We have time. I hope Conan doesn't do it. I might have to start and stop a couple times so we don't get dinged by NBC, because we can show you this. It's harder on YouTube. But here's the clip. He tells this story, and it's just the beauty of his style. And what's interesting is if you've seen this clip a bunch, Conan wrecks the joke in the middle. The whole point of this joke is to just elongate and build this tension that Norm is a master of. And at a certain point, Conan just can't help himself. And you'd think Conan would know better. But at a certain point, Conan breaks the tension to add his own laugh. And I hope Conan tells the story someday. Maybe I've missed it. But he breaks the tension in this clip. But Norm, undeterred, starts improvising a bit more to the story to elongate it further to get to where he wanted to go. And it's just a brilliant example, once again, of Norm MacDonald and his brilliance.
What happens?
My driver tells me a joke.
The driver we sent to pick you up told you a joke.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell it now on the show.
Yeah, that's how I get a lot of my material.
Okay. Why don't we just have him on next time?
That guy. That guy. No, wait till you hear me do it. So the guy, he goes, I say, I'll be the guy.
It always feels like there's an awkward, he's not sure how to tell the joke, but he absolutely knows what he's doing and how he tells the joke.
A moth.
A moth.
A moth goes into a podiatrist's office.
A moth goes into a podiatrist's office. Right?
You are correct. A moth goes into a podiatrist's office, and the podiatrist's office says, "What's the problem?" And the moth says, "What's the problem? Where do I begin, man?" He goes, "I go to work for Gregory Linovich, and all day long I work." Honestly, Doc, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I don't even know if Gregory Linovich knows. He only knows that he has power over me, and that seems to bring him happiness. But I don't know. I wake up in a malaise, and I walk here and there. The podiatrist says, "Oh, yeah?" And the moth goes, "Yes." And he goes, "At night, I sometimes wake up and I turn to some old lady in my bed that's on my arm. A lady that I once loved, Doc. I don't know where to turn to. My youngest, Alexandria.
The names.
She fell in the cold of last year. The cold took her down, as it did many of us. And my other boy, and this is the hardest pill to swallow, Doc. My other boy, Gregorio Ivanilidovich. I no longer love him. As much as it pains me to say, when I look in his eyes, all I see is the same cowardice that I catch when I take a glimpse of my own face in the mirror. If only the cowardice was stronger, then perhaps I could bring myself to reach over to that cocked and loaded gun that lays on the bedside behind me. And end this hellish facade once and for all.
How long a drive was this?
He broke it there.
Do you live in the valley? Where do you live? Please, sorry.
He says, "Doc."
It's got extended.
Sometimes I feel like a spider, even though I'm a moth. Just barely hanging on to my web with an everlasting fire underneath me. I'm not feeling good. And so the doctor says, "Moth, man, you're troubled. But you should be seeing a psychiatrist. Why on earth did you come here?" And then the moth said, "Because the light was on."
My congratulations to anyone who stuck it through to the end.
Yes. Brilliant, man. Brilliant comedian. Such a loss. So many people celebrating his life today, I'm sure, and will be for a little while as I'm scrolling through here. My goodness. Legend, Norm MacDonald. What a bummer. But not a bummer in that we celebrate what he was, what he's left us. So young at 61 still. So much left in him. To make that out there be a secret for all, it's just a sad, sad day. A legend we lost, a comedic legend. Moment of silence here For Norm MacDonald, please, as we're doing the silence afterwards, I want to hear your favorite clips. Put them down in the comments below. I want to have some good Norm memories. Share them with the community down below. And thank you guys so much for watching here on Popcorn Planet.